Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face, they all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it done like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it, success ain't no giving. Some days I don't hit, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't wanna when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And woo! Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Woo! Watch out, set it up. Bet you I shut it down. Watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner. Got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm aligned with the winner on the cage. I need all the wins. Yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits. Yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving it energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same. I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up from my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right. I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life. I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose, and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen him down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a meal, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Come down and I'll meet them at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on a roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. And Mafia, as you know, we saw a bit of a dump yesterday on Bitcoin here. Now the question is, Are we going to get the bounce, or are we going to see the bigger bearish case play out here? Now, if you guys have been keeping up with the live streams for quite some time here, over the past couple of weeks, even maybe month, we've been looking at a potential continuation of the overall bearish case. Now, I'm not necessarily sitting up here saying 47K incoming or anything like that, but I do want to cover that bearish scenario once again tonight, as this is something we've been covering on every single stream, and we could be potentially seeing that play out, as we have rejected the exact key level that we were watching on the live stream, on top of also seeing those higher time frame bearish indicators that we were watching that were potentially calling for the continuation down. Those are starting to flash as well. So we are definitely in the danger zone here, and I'm going to break it all down on the charts for you guys in just a second. Should you be worried, and even if we do dump down to 47K, am I going to be like bearish forever? I'm going to break everything down. Don't panic, guys. Try to keep the emotions out of the trading. Bitcoin goes up and down, oftentimes very violently. So just take a deep breath, and I'm going to cover everything and try to light the candle and light the way for you guys here, so you can get a better insight into what I'm looking for and see if we can call these moves one more time. And then a few more after that and after that. But anyway, shout out to the CandleMafia, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra chances to win some free crypto, maybe some free Frankie Candles hats. And I don't know, maybe if we hit 550 likes on tonight's live stream, we'll just keep stacking up the giveaway. I think we have a pretty big giveaway on this Friday. So smash up that like button if you have not already and you find value in this content. It's the easiest and most free way to spread this content out through the YouTubes, and spread the word, the good gospel of the CandleMafia, the best community on earth. But let's see what we got in here. We got Daniel. What is going on? He says, Frankie, what is going on, brother? Thank you for being here. Crypto Trey said smashed. Shout out to Golden, guys. By the way, already dropping 50 Frankie Candles memberships in the waiting room. People just popping up in the live stream and just instantly getting Frankie Candles memberships. Drop those golden emojis in chat if you just got a membership. And shout out to Golden, bro. Thank you for always showing so much love. We got Chemistry, bro, in the chat, guys. Don't forget to show some love to our mods. This YouTube channel would not be the same without them. They help me out infinitely, so drop some love with them, or drop some love for them in the chat. Excuse me. I was just chugging some Aztec and Cactus Moss Water. We got Mr. Ethereum in the chat. What is going on? We got Nibbles Dibble said sup all. Let's see. We got Reapers in the chat. What is going on? Said Golden working in the World Central Bank. Shout out to Reapers. Yeah, Golden is an absolute savage. One of the most selfless, not selfish, selfless people we've ever seen here in the CandleMafia. But let's see. We got Golden Valley in the chat. K Diggity. Let's see. We got Theta. And shout out to Captain Kirk, who is officially now a sergeant. So shout out to Captain Kirk. Big congrats out to you guys. Drop some love for the mods. French Toaster in the chat. We got Money Talks. Let's go. Speaking of money talking, we got K Diggity and Gen Z in the chat. And let's go ahead and jump on into the charts, guys. I'm going to break this stuff down for you so you can easily understand what to potentially expect next. Let's get into it. So here we are, guys. Very, very, very interesting situation here, guys, and there's some very specific stuff I want to go over today because, obviously, as you guys know, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start off on the higher time frames here, turn off the VPVR, and obviously, guys, we've been seeing this sideways range ever since we entered it back in the beginning of February, end of February, early March. And this is kind of what we've been looking at, obviously, on the higher time frames, as this has been kind of the boring March to August range that we typically do get during these months, right? We talk about this all the time. Back here, we went from March all the way to August, sideways price action. Then we got a big dump, a little more sideways, and then, September, October is kind of where we really took off. This also happened in 2020, back before or right after the last halving. And really what we've been looking at, guys, we have somewhat of a sticky situation here. As obviously we are kind of at that point in the cycle where you would typically expect things to start to get exciting, right? Again, if we compare this back, and I talked about this yesterday, it is not that we are just going by the magic of the 4-year cycle, but things really do line up perfectly. I'm not going to go over this super in-depth today because we talked about it really in-depth last night, but obviously, last cycle, right, in 2020, basically, we were kind of going sideways here all the way into August. We got a big dump in September. As you guys know, September is typically a bearish month. But, cycle-wise, right, and timing-wise, and also, like U.S. Election-wise, right, we're in a very similar situation, right? So essentially, right, we had the halving come in sometime in May of 2020, and then we basically more or less went sideways, right? Sure, we got a little pump, sure, we got a little dump, but for the kind of, for the most part, we kind of just went sideways, right? And then, in September, we got a big dump to the downside, kind of just went sideways. And then in October, they call it Uptober for a reason, and that is basically where that big parabolic bull run started. And this is kind of a very similar situation to what we're seeing now, right? We are in an election year, which is typically bullish for the markets, right? Obviously, you can just go back and backtest that. But not only that, guys, but we also are just in the middle of that boring sideways range, and we are approaching September, October, which, again, is typically where we start seeing those moves up. Now, again, is September typically a bearish month? Sure, that's kind of why we're talking about there could be a lot of volatility leading up to the big pump if we're going to get it. And then yesterday we talked about kind of why we would expect this, not just based off of the 4-year cycle, but also with the U.S. Loosening their monetary policy, right? Cutting rates in September. It's like almost guaranteed that we're going to get that. And if that does happen, this historically is what just floods a bunch of money into the economy and encourages those risk-on assets to absolutely fly, triggering bull markets. And this has been the exact same situation in every other single bull run. And so, that's kind of the thing, right? Now, you want to remember, September is also a bearish month, right? So like I said, it's not necessarily the fact that the Fed is going to cut rates and we're just going to blast off. If you guys have been around crypto or just in any market for any time, you kind of understand that when you get bullish news, it is very, very unlikely that once you get the news, you get a massive blast to the upside, right? And we use that example of the Bitcoin ETF, right? The Bitcoin ETF announcement right here in January, right? This was obviously a very, very bullish catalyst for Bitcoin. But, obviously, we came up here and once that got announced, we get a big dump, right? It was a sell the news event. And this is exactly what we were looking for. Not only that, we were also approaching very, very key resistance. I'm not going to go over exactly what we were looking at, but there were very key levels we were anticipating to not only come up into, but also get a rejection on the release of that news. Everyone gets super bullish, right? They're like, oh my God, the ETF is approved. And then you just get the dump. Now, was it overall a bullish scenario for Bitcoin? Obviously, right? Spot ETFs are something this market has been waiting for forever, right? They've been calling for that for years, and we finally got it. But again, the release of that actual news does cause that sell the news event. Now, could see something similar happen with the rate cuts in September. But again, even if we did wind up getting a bigger dump down in September, which is coming up, get a big dump down in September, this would kind of line up with our analysis. And I'm going to talk about what I'm looking at, right? Because we are seeing that bearish case potentially line up to play out exactly as we were looking at. And I even said, guys, this is not what I want to happen. Please, for the love of God, I am not a perma bear, right? Like on these last dumps to the downside on the 4th of July, and then back here for the dump down to 49K. We were looking for both of these things to happen. I explained and walked everybody through this on the live stream on exactly why I was looking for this. And I talked about it a lot, right? And, I don't want people to think I'm a perma bear. I'm simply just bringing the analysis and talking about the higher probability outcome. But this is not what I want to happen, but simply when the charts are pointing in that direction, or at least giving us the opportunity to see that play out, we have to entertain that fact. I want Bitcoin to go up more than anybody could, right? But obviously, if the charts are saying down first, we have to look at that as a scenario, right? And again, this is not popular to say on YouTube. Got a little pushback in the comments for calling for these levels. But if you look back in hindsight, right, like I'm not going to come up here and just blow a bunch of candle smoke up your behinds, right? I'm just going to come up here and tell you the absolute truth. If I don't think Bitcoin's going to blast off, there's no reason for me to say that. It's only beneficial to me to get clicks, right? It's not beneficial for the audience. And my main focus is to help out the audience make more money and anticipate these moves before they happen. So as we look at this, right, yes, you don't want to forget that, right? We have September rate cuts. And remember, we talked yesterday about how, when the Fed cuts rates, right, it's not like they're saying we're going to cut the rates and then they go back into the office and they hit a button and it just cuts the rates, right? I taught you, if you want to go back and look at the live stream yesterday, I kind of go over a full explanation. Maybe I'll make a pre-recorded video about it as well. But this stuff takes like a little bit of time to kick in, right? Because again, they're not flipping a switch. They're just using tools to influence the ability to lower rates. And it's basically like just inflating money into the economy. And then that basically like lowers the price of money, right? If you're thinking of like money as an asset, if you double the supply, the price will dump, right? The only difference is in an asset that you're investing in, you probably don't want that to happen, right? But in this case, you want the interest rates to go down, which is essentially just the price of lending out money. But anyway, either way, right, if we get that dump to the downside, once we get October, this would kind of be the area where, all that money is back in the economy, and then you are going to see that parabolic bull run. But again, we could see a sell the news event. And let me just get into the straight analysis here and what we've been looking at, guys. I'm going to pull up Market Cipher B, and it's like, guys, money flow is like the most goated thing ever. It's like almost never wrong. Shout out to Crypto Face. As you guys know, we were looking at this dump to the downside, potentially incoming based off this 90-minute money flow crossover into the red with the daily red dot, right? And this was all pointed out on today's live stream, so make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss these and you're able to see this stuff before it happens as well. But money flow crossover into the red with that daily red dot indeed did give us the bigger drop to the downside, as you would expect more often than not for that to play out. And, you know, now we are also seeing on a much higher time frame, guys, what have we been talking about time and time again, specifically here on the 3-day time frame? This is what was on the actual thumbnail. Obviously, when we got the dump down to about $49,000, this is where we said, hey, and, you know, I wish I had somebody yeah, shout out to Tony Rowe. I said, Frankie, NVIDIA didn't poop the bed, but they did sharten their pants a bit. Yeah, shout out to Tony Rowe. Maybe we'll take a look at the NVIDIA chart as well. Shout out to my dad. My dad is my dad trades stocks. He's an absolute savage at trading stocks. It's pretty crazy. But maybe we'll check that out, and we'll at my dad, see if we can get him in chat. But as you guys can see here, when we got this drop down to $49,000 on the live stream, basically what we were looking at was a potential retracement to the upside, right? Because this is not the place to get overly bearish, right? Very similarly, this is really not really the area you want to get overly bearish as well. And we're going to get into the local price action. Can we bounce? We'll talk about all that good stuff. But it's important to understand where we are in the macro sense of things, right? And kind of how we got to where we were and why we anticipate this drop to the downside. Now, when we got this drop, we anticipated a retracement to the upside based off this 2-day green dot, right? The green and red dots indicate the ebbs and flows in the market, right? And the money flow indicates the overall trend, right? And this is kind of how I always say, use the money flow as your indicator whether you should be favoring longs or shorts. But nonetheless, we were looking at this green dot and we said, hey, we got the big dump to the downside. We broke the structure. And now we're seeing the higher time frame start to roll back up with your VWAPs approaching that zero line, meaning this white wave crossing over that zero line, giving us this green dot, and this could potentially give us an ebb to the upside, right? Not necessarily a big blast off to higher prices, but how can we figure out if we're going to get the big blast off to higher prices? Well, I would lean more on money flow for that, right? So as we're seeing this 3-day money flow coming down, right? Just generally trending to the downside. This is not my opinion, right? I've been saying this a lot. It's not my opinion. Money flow on the 3-day looks bearish, right? And it has looked bearish all the way since, you know, it started coming out, right? Ever since this first dump. This is where we started to say, hey, probably going to start putting in lower highs and lower lows to continue this downtrend because money flow is coming out, and that indicates the longer-term trend, right? So as we've been looking at this, you know, when we saw this dump down here, we were looking for that retracement based off the higher daily time frame green dots, but we looked at it through the lens of a lackluster push to the upside. Somebody finish my sentence in the chat. I know you guys know what I'm going to say. That lackluster push to the upside to do what? To put in a lower high and then potentially continue the downtrend, breaking structure to the downside. And this is not me coming up here and saying we are going down to $47,500. We're going to go to the lower time frames. I'm going to talk about what we can expect locally. But this is still a potential danger. And if you guys have been watching the recent live streams, you will know I talked about how once we reclaimed this value area low, let me pull it up real quick. Once we reclaimed, actually not this one, let me pull up the current range. Once we reclaimed this value area low, I was actually saying, hey, as long as we remain within this value area, we could kind of put the drop to the downside on the back burner. Not forget about it, but just put it on the back burner because we know once as long as we're able to stay above that value area low, we would anticipate the POC and the value area high to potentially come in. But now we are potentially losing that level, right? So, you know, again, look for the lackluster push to the upside for a potential retracement to put a lower high in and continue the trend to the downside. If the bearish case were to play out, there were two major levels that we were looking for that retracement to happen, right? And when we're looking at market structure or just Fibonacci's for those lower highs, what we're looking for is a retracement into the golden pocket. We know that the highest likelihood area to put those lower highs in at are going to be the golden pocket or the 786 retracement, right? Typically, I will have a big box here saying like, if we're going to come up here, right, we have a high, a low, a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. If we're going to put in a lower high and another lower low, this golden pocket and this 786 or within this zone is going to be the highest likelihood area to get those rejections. And you only have to look as far as the past dump, right? If you pull your fib from the last high to the last low, where did that rejection come in, right? We came in, rejected the golden pocket. We technically hit the 786, but for the most part, rejected this zone here between the golden pocket and the 786, right? And this is very common come in on any time frame, any trend that you're looking at, local or macro. Oftentimes those lower highs do come in on these Fibonacci retracements, right? And that is what was making us say, hey, if we come up here, we also have a lot of confluence up here. 786. You also had the fresh daily level up in here, and most importantly, this was a level that we shared on the live stream, a tapped weekly naked point of control. And again, we didn't get the lower high here. We got a little 10% pullback, which is obviously not too unexpected. But once we got above this golden pocket, this was now the next highest likelihood area of resistance. And this is why we had these two purple boxes on the live stream every single day, being like, these are the two major levels. Once we get above this 786, that would invalidate the lower high, at least based off Fibonacci's, and that is where I would have been expecting the $70,000 level. But once we come up here, this was the danger zone. So we are still potentially at risk of coming in and putting this lower high in, guys, because not only are we seeing that rejection at the 786, the exact level we were watching, but also if we come on into the 3-day, oh my God, I just got a cramp. Oh God. Oh God. Anyway, if we come over to the 3-day, guys, you can see that, excuse me, God, am I gonna croak on stream today? Jesus. But you can see we are getting that money flow crossover into the red on the 3-day. And this is, right, as much as I don't want this to happen, guys, I will say this. If we wind up getting the dump down to $47,000, I will be so happy that I was able to show you guys that why we were looking for that, right? And again, I'm not necessarily calling that 100% right now, but this is definitely, we're at risk of this, right? Like, very simply put, we rejected the 786 as expected. Money flow on the 3-day is continuing out as expected. If we do not see this money flow rip back to the upside, we could be in danger of getting another drop down. Now, this doesn't mean necessarily that the bull market is over and we're going to go to zero, right? So just keep that in mind, right? Like maybe we come down to 47,000, maybe we even come down a little bit lower, or maybe not quite down that low. But we could potentially expect to break this next little this low here, right? Because that would just be what the market structure is calling for, to put in the lower high and then break structure to the downside once again, right? And just basic trading strategy, right? Like just basic like technical analysis would tell you that, if you're going to continue the downtrend, you're going to put the lower high in here and then break structure to the downside. So just keep that in mind. This is definitely a warning sign, right? Like, this is still dangerous. This has taken, we've been looking at this ever since, like, the beginning of June, I think, maybe even earlier, like, probably even since back here, once you see this money flow come out. So we've been, like, anticipating this for months, and finally it is working its way and crossing over into the red, and this is definitely a dangerous thing to see happen. Shout out to the Godfather said, so sell all. No, shout out to the Godfather. I'm not selling my spot bags or anything like that, guys. I know he's kidding, but shout out to the Godfather. By the way, show him some respect in the chat, guys. Always show respect to the Godfather. But yeah, and yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna take a shout out to Flame. I will take a look at the liquidation heat maps as we do every single day. But yeah, like just keep that in mind, guys. Like we are kind of right on track. And I was talking to the premium Discord earlier today. I don't know what I have pulled up in here right now. I don't want to leak anything that's in there with them. That wouldn't be fair to them. But we've been looking. Actually, let me just pull this up real quick. Let me pull up the premium. I want to pull up the actual post that we were looking at. Let me see. When was this posted? Right. So yeah, if I pull this up, this is the premium Discord, right? This was posted on the August 8th, and this wasn't even the first time we pulled it up, right? I don't believe. This was, we were watching these levels even earlier than that, I believe. But yeah, this was posted on August 8th, right, saying, hey, guys, like, this is not just like me going in hindsight and saying we said this, right? All this is documented, and the reason I show this is because it's all based off analysis that you guys can do, and we teach it here, not only for free on the live stream, but we teach even more advanced stuff in the premium Discord more often. But you can see, right, like, not only were we looking for the move down to these dailies, but we also said, hey, I'm sure in this post I'm probably explaining, if we get the retracement up, these are the two areas that we are very likely to put in lower highs and continue to the downside. And both of these trades, although this one didn't play out in full, both of these zones gave us big retracements for very profitable opportunities to take short positions. So, and this is all based off analysis, right? You can see that this is proof that, not that I'm right, not that I'm the best, right? This is just proof that you can see the high probability rejection areas before price comes into that area, right? This is not magic. This is not gambling, right? Especially if you're managing your risk. This is educated guessing, essentially, right? And then add a little bit of risk management, and you could turn it into a very, very profitable trading strategy. So there you go, right? And, this isn't even a shield for the Discord. I'm just showing you guys, and we talked about these levels on the live stream as well for free, right? So There you go. Money flow crossing over into the red, not the best look. You could also see a lot of these higher daily time frames are starting to print new red dots. Now, these are not confirmed. 4-day money flow looking to cross over into the red somewhat soon here as well. Fresh red dot printing. 5-day fresh red dot printing. So, this is like almost exactly what we've been looking for. And yeah, if you watch this live stream, you guys will have seen that. But hopefully, I really hope we don't have to go down to 47.5. Even your 6-day red dot is printing. Weekly VWAP is rolling over. Again, this stuff is not confirmed just yet, but it's definitely not the best. It's not the best sign, right? Now, with that being said, we come on over to the lower time frames. I will say this, right? On the lower time frames, your daily, let me get rid of this fib, your daily money flow is still in the green, right? And we have not really broken any significant lows here. So with anything in TA, you can't call for that bearish case to play out 100%, right? You can't say, oh, we're definitely going to get the break of structure to the downside just because the trend is calling for it, just because the money flow is calling for it. These are all things we have to take into consideration, though. But just because we're seeing it happen doesn't mean it's guaranteed. So here's the hope, right? I wouldn't even say hopium. I would just say, here's the hope. Money flow crossover into the green, still intact on the daily. If we can get this VWAP to roll around, we could potentially get a bounce here. Now, is that bounce going to launch us off to $70,000? Money flow and red dots on the higher daily time frames would say no, right? But locally, right, if we get that VWAP to roll around here on the daily, we also have some local let's pull this up right here. We also have some nice bullish divergences. We've also swept these lows pretty nicely. So, if we're going to get a bounce here, this could be a better chance than any to get that push to the upside. You can see not only did we get the bullish divergences, but we also got the SFP here at the low of the volume profile into that value area low. This is typically where we want to be looking for bounces. You don't want to get overly bearish at these zones, especially when you're putting in bullish divergences with, here's the other kicker here. Money flow is also starting to come up here on the lower time frames, right? So, if we're going to continue back up, maybe come up to the value area higher, maybe even a little bit higher, this is going to be a better chance than any for us to get a little bit of a retracement back up. And again, if that daily money flow stays in the green, we could see a continuation. But again, this is kind of what we've been saying. All of the daily money flow crossover into the green does not just completely negate that 3-day money flow crossover into the red. So right now, I would say if we can hold, and what was the level we were looking at last night on the live stream, this value area low, and just under here, we also had the daily that I was looking at for a potential bounce, right? Put in the bullish divergences. I do think we could potentially get a move up to the value area high, sitting at about $60,637. If we can break out of that range, we may be able to get up a little bit higher here. Now, if we do pull our Fibonacci retracement level here from the high all the way to the low, you can see our golden pocket is coming in at $62,139, 62,374 to 62,139. And we also, let's see here. Yeah, you could see, right, if I go ahead and pull up our VPVR, you can see we also have a bit of a volume gap here leading up kind of, I have a pretty high volume node right here. But volume does fall off up into that value area high. If I pull up the EXO charts here, you can see we also have single prints above between about 60,400 and 61,130. So we get if we're able to get back up in here and push through those, that can push us up into that $62,000-ish level. And even if we pull some of these local golden pockets, right, from this first initial drop to the downside, these are the levels I'd be watching on. I would be watching like the major levels I'd be watching on Bitcoin right now, right? 786 golden pocket. On top of the fact that you have this higher volume node within here. Come on, volume. There you go. High volume node, golden pocket, 786, value area high. This is going to be like a pretty big level. If we do continue up here, actually talked about a potential local move up here in the premium. This would be a big zone to potentially look for a retracement, right? Now, if we do wind up breaking out of there, then maybe we could talk about coming up a little bit higher. But for the most part, these are going to be the local levels. We've already covered the longer term. In the short term here, value area low at 57,940 is absolutely key. Point of control, 59,461 is going to be key resistance. And then the value area high, golden pocket confluence at 60,637 is going to be absolutely key. So locally, just kind of wiggling around within this volume profile. If we do wind up breaking down, guys, $55K, like that would be somewhat of a significant level to hold. Hopefully we don't have to see that happen. And again, money flow is coming up. Bullish divergence is confirmed here at the value area low. So I do think potentially we can continue up locally here, but that does not step on the higher time frame analysis, right? Like I'll be honest, like not only are we getting the money flow crossover into the red on the 3-day, but the red dot on top of that, oftentimes when you get that money flow crossover and a red dot at the exact same time, it could make for a much more explosive move. Now, on top of that, let me see here. Yeah, 4-day, a lot of this stuff, just not, like even your 2-day, this trigger wave, I believe, wound up printing a blood diamond, right? So this is like kind of another rare bearish sign. Maybe we should put that on the thumbnail. Last 2-day blood diamond we got printed here, and then got, eventually technically brought us down here, right? But I would say like the brunt of this brought us down about 21%, right? So 2-day blood diamonds are really not something to mess around with, right? This blood diamond, about 15%. This blood diamond, about 25%, right? These 2-day blood diamonds, this one, like even though this one didn't even really play out that much, still brought you down about 6%. This one brought you down about 16%. Right, like these 2-day blood diamonds are nothing to mess around with. So, definitely something I'm keeping an eye on. Definitely still in the danger zone here for Bitcoin as we've been looking at this nice little trigger wave blood diamond. Yikes! If we were to get a drop down of about, let's say 20%, where does that bring us, guys? 21%. That brings us right into our next key level of support, sitting at about bada boom. Let me unhide the TA here. Bada boom, $47,500 NPOC, right? So if we do break structure to the downside and come down here, 47.5 would be that next big level. But again, I'm not necessarily expecting to wake up tomorrow to see this big dump, right? Like I said, if you take a look at the lower time frames, it actually does look like this money flow is starting to come up a bit, right? And then if we can get that daily VWAP to start turning back up as well. Dang, 30-minute blood diamond printing here again as well. Oh, God, man. But yeah, money flow coming up, so hopefully we can get a little bit more of a bounce here locally, but just keep an eye out, right? It's important that you guys understand the difference between the high time frame and the lower time frame analysis, because I know it's probably very difficult. Like, raise your hand. Actually, Tony, if we could put a poll in the chat and just, like, ask for experience level, right? Like, beginner being like you don't really look at charts. You don't really know what we're looking at, but you're trying to learn. Intermediate being you look at the charts, but you don't, you're still learning. And then advanced being like, hey, I look at the charts and I trade, right? And then, like, expert being like, I'm a profitable trader. Let's see if we could get a little read here, because I was going to say raise your hand in the chat if you guys get confused by time frames, right? Because you might tune into this live stream and be like, I don't get it. Like the thumbnail's bearish, right? He's saying the 3-day is really bearish, but then he says it's going to go up. And this is like very important to understand, right? Because these are two different things, right? You can go up, right? Trends oftentimes have ebbs and flows, right? So we could easily locally get a bounce here and then just get another rejection and come lower, right? So, on a 4-hour daily time frame, you may be able to get a little bit of a move up. And these are tradable moves, right? You could potentially get into a trade here and make a little bit money on the way up. And then, but in the grand scheme of things, with the higher time frame money flow, you're looking at this through the lens of, hey, I'm not going to look to hold this long forever because I know money flow is coming out on a lot of time frames, and I may just put a lower high in and continue down. So I may want to be very conservative with the longs. Not that I can't take them, but I may want to be conservative on the longs and then a little bit more greedy on the shorts, right? Like if you were short from up here, you might want to be a little bit more greedy. Sure, you can long this, but you might want to hold this short. I'm not saying to do this. I'm just saying in general, in a downtrend, you may want to hold on to the short. Even if you take profit down here, you may want to hold a portion. If you have the higher time frame money flow coming out, you're expecting the downtrend to continue, then you could potentially hold that short for a bigger play out, right? And then you have to think about like money flow on the daily means something a little different than the money flow on the 15-minute, right? If you have the 30-minute money flow crossover into the green, right, or 30-minute money flow coming up here, this doesn't mean that the 3-day money flow crossing over into the red doesn't matter, right? This is a 30-minute money flow, right? It's typically not as important, right? It's a lower time frame. The higher the time frame, the more impactful the actual signals will be, the more long-term those signals will be. Does that make sense? Shout out to Smoke, said expert. Let's go. Shout out to Smoke. Chuck a little bit of money for you, bro. Sorry, I only got 20s here right now. Sorry, we're trying to order new chairs and stuff, so I only got 20s for you. But shout out to you, bro. Woo! Let's go. Shout out to Smoke. But let's see. Okay, let's see here. All right, so bada boom. Okay, so 24%. This is kind of what I thought it was going to be. 24% beginner, which I assume you're just tuning in. So hopefully the breakdowns, these simple breakdowns of these charts and trying to explain how this stuff works is helping you guys out. And then I expected intermediate, kind of like people who have been around in the Mafia, probably looked at charts already, started to trade, and then advanced and expert. This is almost exactly what I would have expected. So yeah, for the 26% of you guys out there, just understand, like this is, think about it like this. I always say this. The daily, right? Like I'll just explain this in very, very simple terms, right? On a daily candle, if you don't know what you're looking at on a chart at all, like you can think of it as like, okay, I get it. Price goes up, price goes down. But once you start talking about time frames, I'm lost, right? On the daily time frame, each one of these candles represents a full day of price action, right? So when I look at this, right, this whole candle, only one of these candles prints a day, right? And you can look at the date, right? Today's date is the 28th. Right? And then yesterday's candle was the 27th. So yesterday the price went between as low as 57,883 and then as high as 63,211. That was the whole day range. Now, if we were to zoom in on, say, a 1 hour time frame, we would have 24 candles representing this price area, right? From 63,211 or whatever all the way down to 57,883. We're on the 1 day, so it's one candle. But if I go to the 1 hour, right, I'll try to. All you're doing going down the lower time frames is looking at a higher resolution view. This is a very pixelated view, right? Because you only have one pixel describing this day, right? So this is 1 day. And then if I go to the 1 hour, I'll try to circle this. It's probably not going to work if I'm being honest. But yeah, like let me just do this. It's definitely not going to work. But yeah, this is 1 day. If I go down to the 1 hour, and this is yesterday, right? So I'll just go to yesterday, which was the 27th, right? So I'll start on the 27th. The first candle on the 1 hour of the 27th, oh, is right on this candle, obviously. So yeah, so on the 1 hour, that whole daily candle is represented by these 24 candles, right? The high was still 63,214 or 63,211. I was estimating here. And then the bottom is 57,883, right? Or 8 whatever, right? This is what it looks like on the 1 hour, but on the 1 day, it only looks like that one candle, right? If I go back to the 1 day, you can see this box. You can't even see it because it's only on this one candle. Go to the 1 hour, it's these 24 candles. If I go to the half hour, it's going to be double that candles, right? So it's going to be 48 candles, right? So if I go down to the 15-minute, now we're stretching my math skills, you can see it's just a higher resolution view. We're pinching and zooming into the candle, right? So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. If you don't understand time frames, it's just the lower you go, the higher resolution. And then you go to the 4 hour, we're going to get however many 4 hours is, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 4 or 5 candles, right? And then you go to the 5 hour, you have even less. 6 hour, even more pixelated view, right? Now you zoom in and you're like, okay, I can't even make out what's going on here. It's just 4 candles, right? Oh, now it's only 2 candles. Now there are 3 candles. Now it's only 2, now, right? And then the higher you go up, the more pixelated it becomes. But then you go down to the 1 minute and look at all the detail you can see, right? Look at all this detail. You can see like, wow, there's even like I could see little uptrends, little downtrends, little uptrends, little downtrends, little uptrends, downtrends, right? All within that same day. But now I'm on the 1 minute, right? So you can just see it's a higher resolution view. Hopefully that helps you guys out. So with all that being said, let's see. Shout out to Sipo. Shout out to you. Hopefully I said that right. Said, Frankie, do you have a course? And if so, how much is it? Well, I will tell you this. Frankie Candles University I'm not going to put any timing on it just yet, but I will give you this. This YouTube channel is a free trading course. It's not organized in the right order, right? Like you're going to have to hunt for the information that you want, but there is so much free value on this channel. It is essentially a free trading course. Everything you need to understand. I have videos going even further in depth on time frames. I have 2 whole videos on time frames, right? Shout out to the mods. If you guys could drop one of those links in the chat, so you can check that out for completely free, right? I have Fibonacci videos. I have divergence videos. I have fixed range volume profile videos. I have how to set up your chart videos. And to make it even easier, I am in the middle of filming a new beginner series going from how to open a TradingView account and set it up, right? Use your alerts, use your time frames, right? I'm going to show you how to set up TradingView, understand how to read candles, understand how to use support and resistance, how to find it, indicators, entry signals, trading strategies. We're going to put everything in that beginner series, and we're going to put it in a playlist on the YouTube channel. I think that's probably the decision we're going to make. We were going to maybe put it in the Discord, the free Discord or the dining room. We still might do that, but it's going to be free regardless, and it's just going to be in order. Start at video 1. I think it's going to be about 10 or 11 videos, and just start here and and let it play through, and you will learn everything from zero to hero to get started trading, right? So keep an eye out for that. It's in the works right now. Shout out to Crypto Trey, said, Frankie Candles University, the mascot is the GOAT. Shout out to Trey. Yeah, I guess that would be an obvious, shout out to Tony D. Yo, Tony, can you put that picture of your email? We caught Tony lacking. Tony, if you could put that picture of your that you were emailing about that thing, if you could send that in the put it in the announcement sections of like the premium, and I'll go grab it real quick. I caught Tony emailing somebody, and only on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel do you catch people doing stuff like this. But anyway, guys, with all that being said, I think that kind of clears up what we're looking at on Bitcoin. Just be careful. That 3-day money flow crossover into the red is not to be ignored. But hopefully, with this money flow coming up on the lower time frames, hopefully we can potentially, and don't forget the local levels as well. I'll pull these up, again, just to give you guys this, if this is what you're here for, right? Value area low coming in at 57,940, 57,950. POC coming in at 59,461. Value area high golden pocket at 60,637. These are the important levels to watch locally. I do think we could potentially bing bong around here, especially if we keep this money flow coming to the upside. But in the long term, we might bing bong around a little bit, but I will be looking for shorts on the way up based off that 3-day money flow to see if we can catch that continuation to the downside. Shout out to the drunk YouTuber. What is going on, bro? I love that name. Shout out to you, said, what about Ethereum Classic? Is it going up or down? Shout out to drunk YouTuber. Well, I'll say this, right? If you want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and drop them in at the chat right now. Rob, let's do like 3 or 4 requests. Rob's got something cool coming. I don't know if I want to leak it or if he wants me to say it, but Rob's getting something really cool done pretty soon. Shout out to Rob. That's all I could say. But yeah, we'll take a look at Ethereum Classic. We will take shout out to Jordy, bro. Thank you for that super chat, bro. He said, "Sup, Frankie? Was the dump marked by a 4-hour on the ETH chart?" Well, while you guys are dropping those altcoins in the chat, and Rob is counting up the votes and letting us know what we're looking at. Shout out to Crypto Billy in the chat. What is going on, bro? Good to see you in here. Hope you're doing well, brother. And check announcements. Yeah, hang on, guys. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, let's see. Oh, no. Oh, God. I'm always at risk when I pull this up and Tony's posting stuff. Do you put it in the free? Let's see. Bada boom. Please don't be okay, I thought he was going to Rick roll me. Shout out to Tony D, guys. Tony D, bro, you can't be emailing GOAT. You can't be sending GOAT rental inquiries on business time, bro. I'm just kidding. I'm the one that put him up to it. But, hello. This is a bit of a random request, but seeing it. Yeah, Tony D, you're fired. Tony D is fired. If you're in the free Discord, guys, please thumbs down this. We're trying to stop the Frankie Candles abuse. Let's see here. Definitely don't want to send that one. There we go. Thumbs down this, guys, if you're in the free Discord. But here it is. Hey, sorry, kind of a random request, but seeing if you guys have any baby goats is what it said. It said, "Hi, Tony. We don't currently have any baby goats. Thank you, Brandy." Okay, what about adult goats? Would you guys be willing to accommodate that? Respectfully, Tony. Shout out to Tony D. Absolutely hilarious. But this is a real thing, guys. We can't find a baby goat. I was going to try to get a baby goat to bring Phoebe up on the live stream. And if you think I wasn't going to bring a baby goat in the studio and try to get it to sit next to me the whole stream, you don't know me. But anyway, shout out to Tony D. Yeah, please, guys, help your boy Frankie Candles get defended against this absolutely horrible troll that Tony D just keeps doing to me. Shout out to Tony D. But let's continue on. Shout out to Bragmore said, "Do you ever trade fair value gaps? If not, why?" Shout out to Bragmore. I'll tell you exactly what I think about fair value gaps. They're absolutely horrible. They don't work. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't even say that because someone's going to clip that. I'm just kidding. No, fair value gaps are totally, I like fair value gaps. I would, the only reason I really don't look at fair value gaps, I know that, like ICT traders, right? If you guys don't know ICT, he's like a very big Forex trader. He's like, I don't really know that much about him, but I just see him on my TikTok all the time. Everybody loves him. Apparently, he's like really good. But he trades fair value gaps. I don't know if he invented them or whatever, but he trades fair value gaps. And here's the reason why I don't trade fair value gaps. And it comes to the simple point of, and I'll take a look at Ethereum while you guys are dropping those altcoins, and I'll kind of just show you the example on Ethereum. The reason I don't trade fair value gaps is just simply because you can only look at so much stuff, right? Sometimes too much information is bad information, right? So it's the same thing. People ask me why I don't look at moving averages. It's not because they don't work. It's not because I don't think they're good. It's just that if I'm looking at a key level of resistance, right, I like to look for a lot of levels of confluence. However, you can only look at so much stuff, right? So oftentimes the way I like to trade is based off the volume profile, right? So I usually have a value area high, a POC, and a value area low, right? So usually I'm trading a range like this, right? And oftentimes price will respect this range, right? And then once we break down out of this range, oftentimes we'll come back up and we'll retest the value area low. And if we can't get back above the value area low, typically there's a short setup to catch the trend to the downside. This is how I typically trade, right? Like if I'm catching that trend, right? Oftentimes I'm short from the top, actually, from the value area high. But if I were trading, waiting for the break of this range to get into the trade, typically, I'm pulling a local Fibonacci retracement, and oftentimes, that golden pocket is going to be confluent with the value area low. If that is the case, this is where I'm looking for my short between the golden pocket and the 786, and oftentimes, this is where a fair value gap is anyway. Right, so I can look at, and then oftentimes there's going to be some kind of moving average coming through there, right? Oftentimes there's going to be an anchored VWAP coming through there. Oftentimes there's going to be many things in that area, and so to me, right, I can only look at so many things, and so it doesn't matter, right? This is why I don't really force people. I don't tell people like the way I trade is the only way to trade. It's not true, right? It might work for me. It might work for the CandleMafia, right? It might work for the premium Discord, but it's not the only way to trade, right? I don't trade patterns, and I have a very specific reason on why, right? It's too much of an educated guess for me. You can't really see. There's nothing saying that pattern's like the pattern doesn't mean anything, right? The pattern is more of an explanation of price action rather than, price doesn't know it's in an ascending channel, right? Or price doesn't know it's in an ascending wedge or whatever, right? I like to see where the shorts are, where the longs are. I like to use the order flow. It's not in depth enough for me. I want to get more information, and you can use patterns along with other strategies, and then then I would trade a pattern, right? But very simply put, if we could take the same trade, but you could be shorting a fair value gap, the retracement into a fair value gap, and I could be trading a golden pocket 786 rejection, right? As we're rejecting out of an area of balance. And there'd be the same trade, but you just see it different ways, right? There's only so many ways to see the information on the chart. We're all looking at the same information, and all these different tools oftentimes point to the same thing. Does that make sense? So there you go. That's kind of the that's kind of the explanation for me and why I don't use fair value gaps. They're great. I just, there's only so much I can look at, right? So yeah, there you go. Hopefully that answers your question. Shout out to Bragmore, said, Frankie Candles, exactly. I love ICT strategies, but honestly, I like your approach more with the money flow, VWAP, volume profiles with value area high, POC, value area low, money, signal printing, and fibs. Yeah, shout out to Bragmore. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Shout out to you. Oh, no. Shout out to Gaston said he got scanned for 80% of his crypto. Guys, be careful out there. Do not click any links. Don't click links. If you have anybody reaching out to you on Twitter or Instagram or anything claiming to be me and just saying, hey, what's up, man? Send me money. I'll trade for you. It is a scam. Please. I'm so sorry that happened to you, bro. You got to be careful. You have to protect yourself. There are scumbags out here trying to steal your money. Don't click links. Don't connect your wallet to shady sites. And if you do, make sure that wallet doesn't have all your money in it. You have to protect yourself out there. I will never reach out to you. I will never ask for money. If I do reach out to you, I'm going to be like, hey, bro, saw you in the chat. Thought that joke was funny. Like, I'm never going to ask you for money or anything like that. Please be careful out there. Shout out to Gaston. I mean, it's hard to get money back from stuff like that, but I hope, I hope you're able to try to figure something out there. But yeah, be careful out there, guys. Be careful. Shout out to Jay Violet, said, Frankie, you friend requested me again. Shout out to Jay Violet. If I'm talking to you, Jay Violet, I'm going to talk to your face like this, live. And this is not a deep fake. Anyway, all right, let's continue on here. Let's see. Okay, so taking a look at Ethereum, guys, very, very, very similar situation as Bitcoin, right? Now, let me go ahead and turn some of this stuff off. I'm going to turn off the current range here and just take a look at these local levels, right? Now, just to keep in mind here, bada boom, we come up to a higher time frame. Yeah, like this is the doorway to higher prices, right? If we could break this level, that's what opens up the door to come up higher into this range. Now you can see, unfortunately, we went for the break of this level, but we could not break it, right? If we were able to get above here, very likely Ethereum would have blasted off. But we got the clear rejection, and now we are losing this local value area, right? So locally, there are two, these are the local levels, right? This local value area is kind of the closest area of balance that we have, right? You have balance, right? You have balance in here, right? We deviated, came back in, got sucked into the range, went to the POC, went to the value area low, and then we lost the low. If we continue up here, price is going to naturally gravitate into this level or into this range, right? So there you go. That is going to be important levels to keep an eye on above. Break 25.67, you could potentially get up to 26.50 to 26.83. And then, as long as you remain within that profile, that is what I would expect to respect. Expect to respect. But yeah, shout out to Jay Violet said I got friend requests from Tony too. Yeah, they're violent out there. I think I think Golden has fake accounts. Like some of the mods have fake accounts. Like they will try to get to you in any way, shape, or form. I will never understand people who want to I want my money. I don't want other people's money. I will never understand why how someone can be such a lowlife to just steal other people's money. That is it's crazy. And especially the scammers. Like, we tried to do stuff about them, like, in the early days. It's impossible. You try to report them, get them taken down, and then 6 more pop up. It's a losing battle, right? There's no way to get them out of there. So the best way to avoid that, guys, is please, for the love of God, do not click links. Here it is. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to say it. You're not going to get rich overnight. If you have someone hitting you up saying, I'll trade if it seems too good to be true, it is, right? And I think most people, especially the CandleMafia, you guys all know this, right? If someone says, "Hey, send me 10K, and I'll turn it into 100,000," all you have to do is send it to me, log into this portal, and then you'll see the money will just print, man. You don't have to work anymore. You're retired. You're going to be a millionaire tomorrow, right? Like, obviously, that's not going to happen, right? So just keep that in mind. If it's too good to be true, it is a scam, right? So there you go. All right, let's see. Shout out to Shihab says, and you consider yourself rich. I don't know if that's pointed towards me. I would consider myself rich. I identify rich as, or I would define rich as like rich versus wealthy, right? Like I think rich is being able to live your life and not have to worry about bills, right? Like not have to worry, like be able to go out to eat, not really look at the check, go out to the store, buy the shoes you want, not have to worry about it, right? Pay your bit, like your rent comes out, you don't feel it, right? Your car payments come out, you don't feel it. That's rich to me, right? And then wealthy is, I heard someone say this recently. When you're wealthy is more defined by the money you don't spend, right? Like wealth is having money stacked up and invested, and investments and assets, right? So that's kind of the difference between wealth and rich to me. And to be honest, I don't think you need a lot of money to be rich. I think you can be rich. The fastest way to get rich is to throttle your lifestyle, right? You can make $60K a year and be rich. If you live below your means, you can be rich, right? Because then it's like, hey, I want to go out to eat. Sure, we can go out to eat. We have plenty of money. We save our money. We don't spend that much money. We live below our means. We have extra money to spend on dinner, right? That is, you could easily throttle your lifestyle to feel rich, right? Like, and they always say, right? You want to become a millionaire, right? That's how millionaires think, right? You want to become a millionaire before you have $1 million. I don't know who said that. I didn't make that up. But you want to become a millionaire before you ever have $1 million, because if you don't, you're not going to keep that $1 million for very long. So there you go. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Live below your means, fam. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to K Diggity. 100%. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Roybot said, perpetually pre-rich. You need 38 million to not worry about money completely. Shout out to Gen Z. I mean, I guess it depends on your lifestyle, right? For me, right, if I had to, I could live off probably, yeah, like if you throttle your lifestyle, you don't have to worry about money. Like you could really, it is more of a, in my opinion, right, it is more of a definition of what is your lifestyle, right? Like you're not going to be able to drive a Lamborghini and go on vacation 5 times a year and be able to travel all this way by making 60, 70, maybe even 100K a year. You can't do that, right? But if you control your lifestyle, you don't have to worry about money. I would say 38 million is a realistic number to do whatever you want. Like to just literally like private jets, buy literally anything you want, any house you want. But yeah, if you get like $3-4 million and you invest that in small, safe, returnable assets or investments, and then live below your means, You could not worry about money. You're not going to be able to go on private jets, but you won't really have to worry about money. But yeah, $38 million to just do whatever you want is probably realistic. But let's see. All right, let's continue on. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on. So, yeah, if we continue up, guys, these are levels I'm going to be looking at on Ethereum. Now, if we do continue lower, I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. I'll show you. Yeah, we have this lower range. We did hold this value area high as support. If we break back down, this macro POC sitting at about 2338 is going to be absolutely key. If we lose those, I mean, these are the two areas of balance in my opinion, right? If we're not going to hang out up here, drop to the downside, get back in here, probably going to respect this range. You start losing those lows, probably going much lower, right? And if I pull up this larger volume profile, let me pull up this chart real quick. So yeah, to be quite honest, yeah, we break back down. These are the key levels to the downside. 2370, lose that, probably going down to 2250, lose 2250, down to about 2170. And then if we lose that, guys, I'll be honest with you, not good. Probably coming much lower. I won't pull up those levels right now because we're kind of far away, but those are going to be the levels to the downside. And to be quite honest, this value area high at $2,500, like this is the level to stay above. You stay above this, right? That gives you the opportunity to move through this range and then break out of that range. You could look to come up to these higher levels on the macro volume profile. But to be honest, these are kind of the major levels to look at. I like this chart much better. It's much cleaner, not as much noise, and that's what I'd look at. All right, let's see. Shout out to Golden Child, said, I don't know, man. I sent Vitalik 10 ETH, and he said he was going to send me double back. I haven't gotten it yet, but I assume it's on its way. Shout out, yeah, guys, you got to be careful. Shout out to Golden, or Golden Child. Pretty funny, man. But yeah, let's see. All right, let's continue on. Shout out to Jay Cooney, said you can only use this free indicator if you have TradingView Premium, right? No. My free indicator by LuxAlgo, by the way, shout out to LuxAlgo, channel sponsor, an amazing indicator company. They have tons of free indicators, guys, but if you want my free indicator by LuxAlgo, just type in Frankie Candles on your TradingView. It could be a free account as well. All you do, click it, go back to the chart, click your start point, click your end point. You will see the volume profile pop up, and then you could double-click on the indicator to change all your settings. For me, I like to have the Fibonacci levels on, or I turn the Fibonacci levels off until I need them, right? And then you could change your indicator that you want to have your divergences detected from. I usually pick either the oscillator matrix on LuxAlgo, or I'll pick Market Cipher B, because that's typically what I'm looking at for divergences, right? And then you can look at this and say, hey, I'll try to find an area where we had some divergence confirmation. Come on. Bada boom, right? So you deviate above the high here, right? So an example of how you would use this. Deviation above your value area high. This is where you want to be looking for shorts above the high, longs below the low. And then you're looking for bearish confirmations. Here, you can see the indicator is pointing out that you have a bearish divergence, which is true. You see lower high on your momentum waves, higher high on your price action, sauce can emoji, confirmation, and then you're looking for price to get back into the range, back to the POC, back to the value area low. And right now we're fighting to get back inside that range. But there you go. You don't need any kind of premium. There's no strings attached to this indicator. You can use this for 100% free, no signups for anything. It's all free. So there you go. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend in the chat. Welcome in. Good to see you. Okay, let's go ahead and bada boom, bada bing. I don't think. Did we get a? Alts. Thank you, Crypto Billy. I appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna pin that to the top of the chat. Shout out to Crash. What is going on? Said Frankie, much love. I appreciate you guys. Let's see. Okay. Bada boom. All right. Let's see. Bing bong. Shout out to the French Toaster. Let's go. Okay, so here we are. Let's go ahead and check ICP, our next altcoin. Take a sip of that Aztecian Cactus Moss Water. We got the Fat Boy can in here. Bada boom. Pull up crypto, ICP, pull up the Binance chart. Actually, let's pull it up over here. Let's see what we can take away. So, yeah. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to grab some water as well. Can't drink Atsaki and Cactus Moss water without regular water. And my chair is sinking. All right, let's see here. Shout out to Golden, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Said, order new chairs. I don't believe you. Shout out to Golden. Hang on, guys. I got to fix this. Shout out to Golden. Oh, God. I'm emotionally attached to the chair, guys. I'm sorry. Shout out to Golden, though. We're going to get a new chair here soon. It's really kind of just it's low-key like a laziness thing. Not that it's hard to click a button on a computer. But, yeah, let's go ahead and continue on here. Take a look at ICP. These are the two major ranges. I mean, pretty simple here. It's going to be quick and dirty here on ICP. Key level to the upside, 791. Get above that level. That opens the door to about $8.36. Very simply put. Pull your fib. Yeah, go. Yeah, this is definitely key level number 1. Key level number 2. Bada boom, right? So these will be the key levels. So if we get back above that 791 value area low, I would look to come up to the POC or the value area high, but you got to be careful because if this downtrend is going to continue, that golden pocket, POC, and value area high, 786, is going to be the most likely areas to get a pullback and a continuation of the trend, in my opinion, where you have your next doorway to lower prices, which is going to be sitting at 741. If we cannot hold, right, if we can't get back up and reclaim this value area to fill it in full, that is where we would look for this value area high as key support, 741, break back down into here, very likely to start respecting that range again, right? Very simply put, you are looking at this as an area of balance, right? Your volume profiles are where price is going to be gravitated to. So you get imbalance to the upside, come back into this value area, imbalance to the downside, probably going to come back into this value area. So not really too much to say there, to be quite honest. Daily money flow still looking to cross over into the green here. I will be honest, like we're still holding in the long run, right, on the higher time frames, like still opportunity to hold a higher low here, right, locally. Like, even if you came down, like, to this golden pocket, potentially. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's a downtrend. But locally here, right, you break these highs, could get a bigger break. Let me just pull this as well. Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest with you, come up. Yeah. Daily V, I mean, once you get that green down on the daily with the money flow coming up, could get that bounce, bigger bounce to the upside. Oh, guys, 2-day red dot, or 2-day blood diamond here. No 2-day blood diamond. That's actually kind of shocking. I'll be quite honest with you. 3-day VWAP. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's the higher time frames are really what is a little bit suspicious here, if I'm being quite honest. Like the lower time frames don't look horrible, right? Like even like the low time frames, the 30-minute. Well, not on this, but on Bitcoin. But yeah, the daily, like this doesn't look horrible if you can get that green dot, but then you come up 2-day red dot printing, 3-day red dot about to print, 4-day red dot about to print. VWAP's all flopping over here. Kind of hard to call in the long term here. But yeah, your best bet. Yeah, 8-hour, 4-hour. Yeah, I would just pay attention to these levels. Major zone 1, major zone 2. You guys can screenshot that if you want to take the levels. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, shout out to Enzo said, that's cool. I'm dead to price action now. Yeah, shout out to Enzo. This like wonky, boring price action will just kill you on the inside. Let's see. Shout out to Maddie. Said, can we take a look at Pepe, Frankie? We could try to take a look at Pepe after, let's see, Matic, Dot, and Adam. Yeah, we'll try to take a look at Pepe after that. Let me just take a quick look at ETH Classic. Bada boom. Haven't looked at ETH Classic in quite some time. So get rid of these local levels. Yeah, major value area remains exactly the same, right? Up here. For the most part, like those are your macro levels. 24.38 is the real big level you want to get above to see the bigger move to the upside. However, locally, I would probably just pay attention to this volume profile, if I'm being quite honest with you. I mean, it's kind of like the same exact price action as Bitcoin, right? It's like the same structure. So you got your value area here. You have your value area low, POC, and your value area high. So if it went from the low to the POC back to the low, like as long as you remain within this range, I would look to respect these levels, right? Looking for longs at the lows, shorts at the highs, right? Not just randomly entering, right? You got to find those entry signals. Oh, yeah, shout out to Flame. We'll take a look at the liquidation heat map in just a minute. But, yeah, for the most part, 4-hour money flow coming down here. I don't really like the look of that, to be quite honest. Pull from the high to the low. Yeah, 1744 golden pockets, absolutely key. If you lose this range, you really want to bounce off that golden pocket. 786 coming in at 1659, but I would really want to hold that golden pocket. So those are kind of the next levels to the downside if you break out of that range. Until then, these are the levels to respect. 4-hour money flow, not looking great, to be quite honest. Like 2-hour money flow in the red, yeah. Like lower time frames, yeah, you don't really have any divergences here. Yeah, you really want to hold above this value area low. If you lose it, golden pocket at 1745 is the next key level. Very simply put. Daily, yeah, that's what 4-hour money flow coming out does not look great. But other than that, these are the levels I would watch. What's the 3-day look like? Yeah, 3-day red dot. I don't know, man. I don't know. If we see that bearish case play out on Bitcoin, I will tell you this. I will never be more mad that I was right. I'll say that. All right, let's see. Okay, that's ETH Classic. Let's take a look at Matic real quick. Hey, what's up, Jason? What's going on, bro? He said long on Bitcoin from 57.857. Do I close or hold? Shout out to Jason. I mean, dude, I'll be honest. Let's hop back over to Bitcoin real quick before we go on to Matic. I'll be honest, bro. Like, I don't know. 30-minute money flow coming up. I don't hate these lower time frames, but I don't know, man. Like 4-hour money flow crossovers got me a little freaked out here. On top of the 3-day, I'm sure you're looking at this too, bro. I feel like I've been like screaming, like I feel like I've been echoing myself like to a fault here, talking about that 3-day money flow. So it would low key be kind of nice to see it finally play out, but I do not want it to play out, bro. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, I don't know. Low time frames look good. I am not in the long here. Yeah, I mean, at the value area low, like, I don't know. Got the, whoops, that is a fib. That is not what I want. Got the divs at the value area low. I'm looking at maybe a push up to here, but I don't know, man. Kind of hard to say. 4-hour money flow. I kind of feel like I would favor shorts on the way up, to be quite honest. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens, bro. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah. Let me pull up the heat maps real quick. Let me just log in here. I don't want to leak any info here. Not that I don't want you guys all having my email, but let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Of course it times out. Come on. All right, let's see here. Bada boom. Let's see. He said, yo, shout out to Jason. He said, I'm going to go live later. Urgent, long and afraid. Yo, shout out to Jason. Yeah, that's kind of how I would feel. Like I said, I'm not in the long here, but I would probably be, I don't know. I would be conservative, bro. But I don't know. It's kind of sus. I'll be honest. Like some of this lower time frame price action has been super choppy, super wonky. Like even the confirmations, like up here, it's like Jason. Let me know if this like up here, bro. I was looking at an SFP here at the highs, and it's like in my premium live stream, I was literally as we were getting this push up saying like, hey guys, I don't like to trade on these big moves, right? Like, and I'm sure you're probably very similar, right? Like, I'm not like FOMOing in the middle of the moves, right? Like you'd rather snipe a top, snipe a bottom, right? So. But I was saying, like, hey, guys, what I like to do is I like to wait for price to consolidate, and then I like to, like, I should show this on the live stream. This was, as we're getting this push up, I'm like, hey, guys, if we can get price to come up here and consolidate, pull a volume profile, and then wait for a bearish confirmation to catch the short, something like an SFP of the wick high, and I literally drew this out on the premium live stream, and then I just literally got trolled, bro. I literally just got trolled by the SFP, at least on Bybit. I think it popped up on, I think it hit on Binance, and it's like, yeah, you got it on Binance. And it's like, of course, I just get scammed out of that SFP. And I'm just like, this price action's wonked. Especially like like looking for that kind of stuff has been like the confirmations aren't strong, bro. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Jason he said, you'll be conservative, but I'm in a long like I'm woke. Yo, shout out to Jason, bro. You're funny, bro. Shout out to Jason Casper. Let's see. All right, let's see. Yo, shout out to Peace Walker said Frankie's crushing the TA like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can. Yo, Chad's wild right now. Shout out to yo, who said that? Who said it? Shout out to Peace Walker, bro. Let's go. All right, let's see. Bragmore said, Frankie, can I ask you how you configure your volume profiles? Yeah, I'll just pretty much all default for the. I shouldn't say all default. But yeah, value area 70, right? I use row size 250. This is pretty like not self-explanatory. This is like pretty just like preference, right? Like if you put this to 350, right, you're just gonna get like a little bit more detail in there. If you put it on 100, you're just gonna get less bars. There you go, right? You just get like fewer bars. I just like 250, but that's not like a huge. That's not gonna like change the volume profile too much, right? 70% value area is what I like to use. Excuse me, chug too much water. And then you just gotta make sure you activate. This is by default is off, right? All you have on the default is the POC, so you just gotta turn on the value area high, value area low. Other than that, only thing I have changed is colors. That's about it. So there you go. All right, let's finally get over to Matic here, guys. Sorry, we're just like to spit that educational sauce here from time to time. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, so on Matic, let's come over to the 4-hour real quick. Boom. 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 So yeah, I mean, these are the two value areas I'd be looking at, right? Like, again, very similar to Bitcoin, right? I would just extrapolate these to the right, mark out the levels, boom, boom. So yeah, starting to hold that value area high as support, and very simply put, the market is always and constantly hunting for fair value. The fair value is inside the volume profiles, right? So once you get the imbalance, sellers outweigh the buyers. You get the push to the downside, and then you wind up settling in this volume profile, right? So when you leave this profile, you are going to look for price to seek out previous balance. It comes in here, respects the level, comes back in, loses it. Where's price going to go from here? Very likely going to seek out that last area of balance. And if we break below this value area low, or value area high, rather, at the 42-cent level, break below this is probably going to drop you down to the POC and then drop you down to the value area low. So like this is kind of your doorway, sitting at about 42 cents, 43 cents. That is your doorway to lower prices. Right now, if we start getting like a rip out of nowhere, and again, this is probably a low volume gap if we take a look at the VPVR or the VRVP, as some people like to call it. So yeah, you can see, right? Like most of your volume is up here, and then you have another high volume node up here. For the most part, this is a big old gap, right? So price likes to fly through these big zones, right? There is nothing holding you up, right, on your way down, just like there is nothing holding you down on your way up. That's why they're like no interest at these prices. They just fly through it, right? No one wants to trade these prices. They just buy it right through. So it flies through the low volume gap, flies down through the low volume gap, just like here. And if you can't see the volume profile, oftentimes if you just see a quick move up, you can kind of just look and be like, hey, that's probably a gap here, right? So if price breaks these levels, probably going to fly back down, right? I just like the way the volume profile shows it because it's just very simple to see, right? Price is gravitated towards the high volume nodes. This is where you see the ranges, right, on the high volume nodes, and then the low volume nodes is where you see price just absolutely dump. So hopefully that makes sense. But But there you go. Money flow for the most part. Let's check the daily. Yeah, daily's kind of hard to take anything away from. 4-hour money flow coming out on a lot of this stuff. So I would be careful. I don't know. I mean, my sentiment kind of remains the same on everything that it remains the same as it has been, right? Like, especially on Bitcoin. It's on the higher time frames, right? Like, based off the Fibonacci levels and money flow in the higher time frames, like we're in a downtrend. That 786 retracement, if we get the breakdown here, again, not guaranteed, but if we get that, it's going to be pretty, like, not that unexpected, right? But, you know, looking in hindsight is always easy. But, yeah, let's see, bada boom. Okay. Yo, shout out to Flame, bro. Sorry, I'm, like, literally teasing you with these heat maps. All right, so let's see here. Bada boom. Let's take a look at the 3-month. Actually, I think he wants to see the 1 year. Let's take a look at the 1 year. Yeah, so he's talking about this zone down here. Now, here's the thing about the liquidity heat maps, right? There is typically price hunts out the hot spots of liquidity, right? This hot spot at 51 to 52K. This was a big reason why on this pump to the upside, everybody was super bullish, right? And this is literally where, when we were looking for the rejection down to 51 to 52K, this is kind of where I got a lot of pushback. People were like, this guy's an idiot. Like, we're pumping. Why the heck is he looking for 51 to 52K, bro? Do you not realize that Bitcoin is almost at 70K? Why are you looking at 51 to 52K? And it's like, it's whatever, man. Okay. All right, fine. It's going to go up forever. I'm sorry. But yeah, the TA was very much pointing towards a potential rejection at that 786 value area high we had here. And, you know, not only was our next key level of support sitting at 51 to 52K, but we also had this hot spot of liquidity. And a lot of times price likes to get gravitated towards these levels to swipe the liquidity and then reverse back to the upside. And oftentimes these liquidity levels act as a magnet for price, sucking price up or sucking price down. And, you know, right now, the hot spot of liquidity is sitting up here between $74,000 and $77,000. $34,000, Flame, I see what you're looking at here. There is no guarantee that we don't come down here, but this is not, like, there is way more liquidity sitting up here, at least based off this liquidation heat map. Now, again, just because there's more liquidity up here does not guarantee price will go up there first. But typically, right, like, more often than not, like, price will hunt out the higher liquidity area first, or just in general, right? It'll be more attracted to the high. It gets attracted to the highest the place where there is the most liquidity, right? Now, with that being said, you know, if we did get a move down to 34K, like, let's remember, right? Like, if I pull up, let me actually pull up this Bitcoin chart real quick. Let me hide the naked points of controls, the locals, the dailies, and I'll just hide this as well. And I'll hide this, right? If we take a look at the higher time frames here, I do just want to point out, right? Like, right now, the next level of support is really, like, the MPOCs. Let me pull that. The weekly MPOC is sitting at 47.5, right? That's technically the next major level to the downside if we get the big drop. If we break that, the next zone of support, in my opinion, is coming from this old area of price action, right? This naked volume profile down here between about $44,000 and $40,000. So what can we say about this $44,000 zone, right? This $40,000 to $44,000 zone. If we get that drop down, if we come down and we look for, if I'm going to be looking for longs down here, where am I going to be looking for the longs? I'm going to be looking for the longs on the deviation below the low. Where is that deviation below the low potentially going to bring you? 35, I don't know. 35 is right here on your 786, right? Golden pocket right here. So if we did come down, right? Now, this is a significant golden pocket. If you come down for the golden pocket retracement, you could get the bounce there. If you don't get the bounce there, you would be looking towards the 786. So it's not impossible if you get the big drop down and we see like a massive dump here on Bitcoin and it is going to try to fake everybody out. Like, even if we got to drop down to $34,000, like, this is not necessarily bull market over, in my opinion. Right now, again, if you bought in here, right? If you bought in here, it's going to feel like a bear market. Like, but if you bought in at 21 to 22K, it's not going to feel like a bear market, right? So it's all kind of relative, in my opinion, right? But if you did come down to the golden pocket, 786 at 34K, like, maybe that's where you go sweep that liquidity before a bigger move up. But in my opinion, if you're going to get that, especially with the potential rate cuts around the corner, unless the rate cuts act as like a super bearish event for some reason, that could be, you know, yeah, unless the rate cuts are like a super bearish scenario or we see some kind of black swan event, I think that level's pretty unlikely to be seen, but unlikely is different than impossible. Keep that in mind. So there you go. But yeah, 34, and that does line up with the 786. So it wouldn't be totally out of the question. But we'd have to like really see something crazy happen if we're going to get that big drop down. So there you go, Flame. Hopefully that helps you out. Okay. Flame says, when we were in the previous bull run, check the dump in the bull run and check the comparison from 74K drop. Shout out to Flame. I'm not sure 100%. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying there. Are you talking about compare the heat map? I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, that is that's kind of what I'd be paying attention to. Liquidity is sitting down there, but there's much more above us. But there we go. And also just like halving timing. I don't know. It's not really the September. If we're gonna get that, like the Rectember might be like where we go down there. But I don't think it would be for very long. I think it'd be pretty quick sweep. Okay, let's see. Bada boom, bada boom. All right, let's check out Matic. Let's check out Dot real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. All right. Okay, so on Dot, let me actually. Okay, yeah. So on Dot, for the most part, these are your levels, right? You have your bear market range here. We deviated below the low. We are rejecting the low for the second time. Let me actually mark these out so you guys can actually get the physical levels. Oh, my God. It is like 1,000 degrees in here right now. But, yeah, this is – yeah, got to get above this value area low. This is your key level. This is your doorway to higher prices. Right? And if you're new here, you're going to learn about these doorways to higher prices. It's like once you flip these, very often you get quick moves. And it's all based off the profiles, right? Once you get above that value area low, right, the next likely place for price to go is the POC, right? And then eventually you look for the full range rotation. But, yeah, that is what I'd be looking at here on Dot. Very simply put, it all kind of looks the same, to be honest, right? Like daily VWAP trying to curve back around, 4-hour money flow probably coming out. Yeah, his 4-hour money flow does not look amazing, right? This 4-hour money flow looks pretty bearish, actually. So next key levels of support that I'd be looking at if the dump continues here on Polkadot would be $4.10 all the way down to the 786 at 387. So, yeah, 4-hour money flow would make you anticipate that, like, even if you get a push up here, could just be something like this, right? If that 4-hour money flow is going to continue down, maybe you just get a retracement, lower high, push back down to these zones. But that's what I'd be looking at on Polkadot. Again, nothing to really take away from the daily. Locally, I mean, not impossible to get. Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of wonked out here. I'd be going off money flow. I'm like not trying to catch these like tiny little scalps. It's very choppy. Like you could just see. Green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot. Like very, very choppy. Like even if you want to get in on a lower high, it's like you just got to snipe those moves. And just like you're not really getting any follow through on the pushes back up. So you got to wait for like the longer term retracements, in my opinion. At least that's what I'm doing. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. How did you pull those fibs without drawing them? Shout out to High Def. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Hey, shout out to the Findon. Yo, that's kind of a lit name, bro. Shout out to the Findon. We took a look at ETH. ETH was the first altcoin. So if you scrub back to the beginning of the stream, once we went into the altcoins, ETH was the first thing we looked at. I covered the whole thing in full. So go check that out, and then we'll meet you back here in the current live stream. Okay, let's see. Pepe still going down, Frankie. We'll try to take a look at Pepe in just a minute. But yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. How'd you pull that fib without pulling it? I don't know. Oh, are you just like, maybe you just mean because like my mouse is up here. If you hold down control, you will toggle on your magnet tool. Right, so if you grab this, and you can see right here, I'm just control, 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 and it just toggles the magnet tool, right? So I'm just hovering over that candle, hit control, and it just snaps it to the wick. That might be what you mean. But there you go. That's what I'll be looking at on Polkadot. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at Atom, and then we'll try to take a look at Pepe. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, I'll be honest, guys. I'm really not going to cover these all in, like these all look so similar. I just don't want to spend super amount of time on all the coins that look very similar. But I will try to Bybit. Where are we? Adam. Okay, do I not have an ETA on this thing? What is there we go. Okay, so yeah, somewhat similar to Polkadot. I mean, not super the same, but yeah, here's the local levels on Atom. Let me just get rid of these. So yeah, I mean, you want to hold above this value area low at 460? Stay above this. You could keep the door open to the POC at about 533. Get above the POC. Look for a move up to the value area high at 650. That could be, yeah, I mean, this is definitely the range I'd be looking at. Locally, you could potentially pull this as your local range if you're looking for little scalps. But again, I'd be paying more attention to the higher time frame stuff, or like the more, yeah, the longer time frame stuff. Take a look at the daily, 4 hour. Yeah, I'd be paying mostly attention to these. I'd be paying most attention to the levels. These are the levels. Key levels. Value area low is the level you need to hold above if you want the continuation up. 460, 533 POC, 650 value area high. And then, yeah, key high volume node. This is like the level you do not want to lose. Sitting at 370. If you lose this, I will pull the visible range volume profile. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Why are you in all white right now? You look like you should be in some kind of an institution right now. I'm not gonna lie. You work it, you rock it, you look great. But I'm just saying that's a lot of you look.
It's not white. It's cream.
Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Is it cream? Oh, okay, yeah. Come back in here. No. Mrs. Candles, show a hand. No. Show your hand. No. Show your hand. Come on, show your hand, Mrs. Candles. Bring it in here. Give the Mafia a sniff. Let them sniff it. They can't see you. They can't see you. Give it a sniff. Guys, sniff this. Sniff this. Woo! Smells like soap. Don't poke the mic like that. That was a little creepy, Mrs. Candles. Don't fondle my mic. Only I can fondle my mic. Creepily fondle it. Anyway, guys, let's continue on. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Drop those Mrs. Candles hands in the chat. Let's see. Hey, shout out to JT. Said this is the first time I have watched this stream, and I usually watch Jason Casper and Tom Crown. You do an amazing job on breaking things down. Shout out to JT. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Tom Crown as well. And I don't know if Jason's still here. Shout out to him too. But shout out to Tom Crown. Let's see. Bada boom. Shout out to the Godfather dropping those Mrs. Candles hands emojis. Let's go. But yeah, let's go ahead and see. Shout out to JT. I appreciate you for being here, bro. Let's see. Got no candle hands this month. Shout out to Sharknado. Let's go. Shout out to Flame said, check April 2021, July 12th, dump and compare the drop height with 74K. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, shout out to Flame. I'll try to take a look at that in a second. I'm gonna get through these altcoins. I will try to take a look at that at the end. But yeah, I'll try to take a look at that. Shout out to Elite Ways. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on here. So yeah, on Cosmos, guys, looking to hold that value area low. If you lose this high volume node, very high likelihood, pretty big gap down here on the higher time frames. So if you wind up losing, come on, volume. You can do it. Tony D, do we need a quantum computer? Or is this just, are we just at mercy of the servers of TradingView? Because I feel like other people's TradingView is so much smoother. But I have such a hard time believing that this computer can't handle TradingView. Like, do we need like an alien computer or something? I don't understand. But anyway, yeah, big gap here. You want to hold this shelf of volume, guys. If you lose this, probably getting a bigger move down between 325 all the way down to about 271. That's the key level, right? High volume node sitting at 370. And then, yeah, volume profiles above. Other than that, I mean, 4-hour money flow also coming into the red, not looking the best. So, yeah, I'd be careful there. Locally, I would, whoops. Boom. Yeah, 786 at 429. That would be kind of the last area I would be willing to look for a long in the context of this volume profile. If you lose this, probably going down to that high volume node. So there you go. But real quick, let's go ahead and check Pepe. Pepe. Why do I always say Pepe? Anyway, he said, no, you need to let me spend the weekend properly diagnosing and fixing it rather than Band-Aids here and there. I'm not going to lie, guys. I may turn it back into a Mac guy. It's like a brand new computer. I don't know why you need to troubleshoot a brand new computer. I just don't understand. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. I get it. I don't know. I've been a PC guy for years now. I started off on PC, and then I was a Mac guy for like 10 years, and then I went back to PC, and I've been loving it. It's just when you're using it for something like this, they're just like... Actually, shout out to Tony Dead Ray. Yeah, it could be. Let's just get the new RAM. Screw the troubleshoot. Let's just buy new RAM. Let's just do that. Screw it. Approved, Tony. Just do that. Just buy the new RAM. But let's see. It actually hasn't been bad considering how it used to be. It's actually been pretty good. But it's just like it's the little hang-ups. It's like the market cipher. Of course, it's these little hang-ups kill me. Maybe I'm just being unrealistic expectations wise. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I love PCs. I always compare this, right? Like a Mac will always work, right? Like Macs don't get viruses. Macs always work. They're very reliable. But, you can't customize them as much, right? So it's like I always compare Macs to, like, really reliable Honda Civics or Toyota Camrys. They're not going to be the fastest things in the world, but, like, a PC would be like a Honda Civic, like, complete, like, with a laptop in the passenger seat, right? With, like, fat turbos, holes cut in the hood, flame shooting, right? That thing's probably not going to run nice all the time, but it's going to be super fast. But you're going to be troubleshooting it all the time. I always compare that. I think it's a great comparison, Mac versus PC. Like, PCs can be super fast, but you're going to be fixing them all the time. Not all the time, but you're going to be like, you're going to have to, like, maintain it, right? But, like, the camera, you just drive until it breaks. But it always starts. I like that. But anyway, let's continue on. Bada boom, bada bing. Mac all day for trading. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Josh. Let's see. How many tabs you got open, though? VRAM. Shout out to Jay-Z for better performing. You want to isolate programs. Yeah. Shout out to Jay-Z. I actually don't have a lot of tabs open right now. I actually only have one tab open. One Chrome tab and one Edge tab. But anyway, taking a look at Pepe, or Pepe, as some people call it. Weekly MPOC holding above this. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. Like, this is... Whoops. Let's see. Well, actually, worth noting, shout out to Tony D. It is 700 degrees in here right now. I think it depends on how hot the day is. I have sun beaming into me right now if you guys can't see. Let's see. Yeah, this would be the major range I would look at. It's all the same. It all looks the same, right? I'd pull this volume profile. All right, so just to put it in the context of what we're looking at on everything else. Boom. 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 Yeah, so, you really want to get, back above this value area low. Key level to the upside, your doorway to higher prices is going to be 850, right? Get above 850, that opens the door to the POC, value area high. You can see high volume node. So you flip that high volume node and break into the gap. It's going to be a quick move to the POC, in my opinion. This is pretty simple analysis locally, right? So that's kind of the major levels. And then again, if you wanted to look for like more hyper local levels, you could pull this local range here, right? It's like, it wouldn't be like overly bearish right now as we're hitting that value area low locally. So yeah, these are the levels I would look at, right? Pull from the high, to the low. Come on, boom, right there. So yeah, this, I'd be careful of rejections here. If you get a move back up, right? If you get this push up, look for the rejection, potentially to get the bigger move down. But yeah, you just really, like, this is the key. These are the two zones I would look at, right? Respect this range. If you break above this value area low, I'd look for the bigger move up as long as you can get above these fib levels. And then keep an eye on these this gap and these two high volume nodes. So there you go. That's what I look at on Pepe. 4-hour money flow also, like, coming to the downside, not looking the best. All the alts kind of look pretty similar. So there you go. And with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time I got. I got to do something about these this light here. I don't know. I don't know why it's all of a sudden became an issue. But yeah, shout out to the Candle Mafia. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here and sticking around till the end of the show. If you're new here, guys, welcome in and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button on your way out. Thank you for hanging out with us. Shout out to K Diggity said, Mrs. Wick, can you please tell the crowd when it's light? When it's like to tell people you care about them, but not mean it. Shout out to K Diggity. I think I just came in the middle of a conversation. But, guys, I got to get out of here. Hopefully, the breakdown of these charts helps you guys understand not only what I'm anticipating, but also an in-depth dive into what I look for on the charts so you can take this information and this education, bring it right to the charts, and practice yourself and start calling these moves before they happen, just like we do on this live stream. And with all that being said, Mafia, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Shout out to Flame. Hey, Flame. I just found the spot on the chart you're talking about, bro, and I'm glad you brought this up because this is actually something, man, I don't know what this would be called, but we may want to pull someone from the community to start clipping stuff from the live stream, so like, or time stamping the live streams or something. There's got to be an easy way to find this stuff, but we've actually, shout out to Flame, I think this might even, Flame, I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure you're semi-new to the community. I might be wrong. You might have lurked for a while. But we have actually looked at this exact situation. He's telling me to look at the April 2021 dump before we got the next big leg up in that last bear market. And shout out to Flame, bro. This is the exact situation that we've been comparing. And shout out to anybody who's been watching the live streams. We've been comparing this price action literally to this exact range that you're talking about, bro. This exact range. Talking about how, hey, this was back when we got the move up this over here, right? Looking for comparing it to that price action, saying, hey, you kind of range around and then you lose the range, and then because that money flow was coming out on the higher time frames, we were looking for a rejection, saying, you know, sometimes when you're about to break out of these profiles, sometimes you get a push down and then a push up into the POC, and then you get the big drop to the downside. And that is literally where we came over here and said, hey, I don't make this up, guys. Like, this happens oftentimes. And actually, I think it was this range we were looking at. Or no, maybe not. I guess it was this one. We probably looked at them both. But, right, you range around, right? My chair is sinking as we speak, right? You come up, you put in the lower high at the POC, and then you get the big drop to the downside. And shout out to Flame. This is, if this could be something that we see, right? Now, timing would be off, right? Like this is this is a different point in the cycle. Not that it can't happen. Like this is just kind of like how when you get a big top, like a macro top like this, oftentimes, right? A lot of people will buy in here. They get absolutely wrecked, and then they bring it back up, right? So shout out to Flame. He might have actually got out there because it took me so long to look at this. But yeah, this is very, very similar. That's what he was looking at, and this is something we've actually covered like to the T on the live stream. So could be the situation. I'll be honest. I thought this was going to be that move, but now that that money flow's crossing over, this might be the move potentially. Actually, let me see something real quick. Start a new live stream here. What did the 3-day look like back here? Yeah, like money flow was coming out on the 3-day as well, and it faked out, came back up. Very interesting. But with all that being said, guys, a little extra sauce here as my chair just slowly sinks to the downside. With that being said, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out.